You guys are so lucky you didn't watch me try to panel beat. I do not have the patience for that, nor do I have the understanding of what I'm doing. And in the midst of all that, I decided to wire up my fog lights. And I wired it to this previous switch. Don't laugh at my wiring. But the issue is, we're getting 12 volts. But the problem is, it turns on and then it just continues to turn off. And it makes no sense. Like, I'm still getting power through the power source directly from the car, but it just won't work. So I'm not too sure what causes that for it to turn on, but even when I turn it on, it's like a blinking, fading light. And the battery's not flat, the battery's not low or anything like that. So I'm just trying to understand why it's happening like that, because the fan didn't have that issue. This is the same wire that we used to run the fan. So I'm not sure, but maybe that's the reason, because it hasn't got enough power to run both the lights, so it needs a relay in place so it can run the power from the battery. Maybe. So I figured it. The problem is maybe the wire size. Two reasons. Maybe the wire size isn't big enough to handle the currents for both the lights, or because I'm using a smaller gauge wire, it doesn't have enough power to throw through it to power both the lights, which is basically the same thing. I just repeated myself in different terms. So that means that maybe if we run them individually to each light, that'd probably fix the issue. But my other question is, actually I don't have another question, because if I run them together, the wire gets super hot. So run a bigger gauge and it should fix that problem. But I don't know enough about it. I think so. Yeah, I think so. Let's just test that first. Let's just test one light at a time and see if that fixes the problem. So after pulling everything apart and finding out that it's my soldering probably didn't help either, but on top of that, it seems that both wires cannot power both my fog lights. So adding a relay is probably the best option, but I don't know. I gotta figure this out. We're gonna give it another crack, trying to figure out this Integra since it's parked up for a while. But the more I look at it, having the nose space up there actually doesn't look too bad. But my question is, can we move that out more? Because there's a pretty decent gap from where it mounts onto over here. So the idea is to fill it up as much as possible. We should probably measure it. Fat ass just broke this bloody chair. Like, I was just sitting on the edge of it and it collapsed. What the hell? Alright, so look how crazy Melbourne weather is. Alright. Boom. All dry. Mostly dry. Like, seriously. This is crazy. Look at the sky. Unbelievable. Anyways, it took me a while to figure it out. One of my fog lights bulbs were shorting out. Why was it shorting out? I have no idea, but it took me forever to realize. I started seeing some smoke coming out of the headlights and whatnot. But I need a new one of these. I think it's a H1 globe. So I'm gonna go out and buy one of those. But the idea is, this whole switch issue with the fog lights is just so when I start the car, so when I put on an accessory, the light would automatically come on. Because I think it'd be a pretty cool look, and then that way I can switch it off and on whenever I please. And those lights don't require the headlights to be on for me to have my JDM fog lights on. So that's that. My wiring is a little bit sketch, but it works. So ever since I got all these little splice adapters or whatever like that, I've just been going crazy using them because they're just easier, makes things easier rather than having to use any sticky tape or anything like that. So this is the second relay that runs everything, so that's all good. Everything runs and works as it should. So I'm going to install. Turn off this noise. Alright, so basically switching everything's all good, so that can all go back in. And basically it took me like a day and a bit to figure out a wiring issue, so I think I'm getting better. It is raining again. What a bloody joke. This is so annoying, really is. Look at it, it's bloody raining again. So we're going to be in and out, so let me finish this off. You wouldn't believe what the weather's been like. We've got grey skies again. We've got blue skies again. It was literally grey and storming before. So Melbourne weather is a joke. No wonder why so much people move to Brisbane. Alright, we've got some new globes. We'll be slapping it in, and hopefully it fixes the problem with this. Maybe it's the water that's causing all these issues. I'm absolutely drenched. I'm not too sure if you guys can see it, but have a look at this. It's probably not even 5 minutes. Seriously. They're at this point, I think they're just pranking us. So it was meant to be a simple bulb change, and now I've got this problem. So watch this. Alright, it's really confusing, so watch. Alright, so inside the actual cable for the headlight itself, this one, I have 6 volts because my battery's dying. There, 10.85. Yeah. Alright, so when I plug this guy in, I get the headlight's not on, and if I touch it, there's no connectivity going through that wire, and that's just the spade, that's just the top of it. So this, just this bit, but it's all of a sudden, if I touch this to it, the headlight turns on. So it makes no sense that we've got power going through this cable, but it won't go through that cable, but it touches, when I touch it, it turns on. So just to show you guys again, here we've got 10.42, alright, 10.44. As soon as we touch this in, technically it should just light up. And it's not a grounding issue or anything like that, but it just literally gets nothing receiving through that bulb. It makes no sense. I couldn't figure it out, so I just hijacked it. So I ran the yellow cable that was originally running from there all the way to this side of the harness. So I said screw it, I just plug it straight into the bulb because I know it works, and this is the via the switch. So hopefully we don't start any fires. It's pretty stiff in there, so I'll slot this in there and we're good. Alright, that's it. Thanks guys. It's stupid, makes no sense. I can't figure it out, but oh well, I'm over it.